So yeah, back to winning ways after one defeat and a poor performance against Luton. Much better, in my opinion, today. Much better. Yaz, what do you reckon?
It was much better. I don't know. I was at a loss really at the performances against Luton and Toulouse. To be fair, Brentford was a potential banana skin. They can on there, and they actually did cause us a few problems anyway on the counter attack.
Yeah,
But
that Allison did a good save, man, from Embueno.
it looked like one of those. It looked like one of those performances today that kind of just knew you were going to win the game. We were going to be too good. We had more gears, if you like, if we needed them. And even the 1-0, I was watching it, I'm thinking, this should be a clear cut victory, not just, a victory. And in the end, it was. Mm. We had a little conversation here with Andrew, and, obviously Endo coming into that side. Not the hardest game he's going to play at home against Brentford, and it's hard to really criticise. Well, not criticise him, but it was a game where we were going to have 80+% of the ball, roughly, and at home. So, as a CDM, are you really going to get tested against Brentford at home? Probably not.
Yeah, he's still. I watched him a little. Sorry to interrupt. I watched him a little bit, and he's still not up to speed. Like you said before with him, he's. There was a time he went in for a tackle, and he was late, and the referee didn't give anything. But he's. I don't know. The Premier League's, I think, a bit quicker than he's used to. So I think
there was one instance though in that game. I think it was in the second half. And he chased down a player, and he was really quick. And I don't know if that player was just slow, made him look quick, but he kind of accelerated and he moved. And so I think what it gave us today was the freedom for two midfielders to play, if you like, how we used to play when Fabinho was the 6, because up until today, McAllister's probably played there most of the time, whether it's been Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones. They're all kind of covering each other. And today, we need that player to. I don't know. He's the man. I don't know if we're going to get someone in January, but we need to start. As I said the other night, we've got to start playing players in their positions and getting a little run together, and for a little bit of familiarity for the players, and understanding and reading each other's games. But today was, Alisson, Trent played well. I think Matip's yellow card was ridiculous, and it's not about just the yellow card. He's been booked, and for the rest of the game, he's on a knife edge really. Van Dijk was fantastic. Looked like his old self today. Swept up, mopped up, quick, clear tackles, and Tsimikas started rough, but 2 assists, grew into the game. It was a good performance. It was
yeah, and like you said, Brentford are not easy. We should be beating Brentford at Anfield, definitely, but they showed. They went to Chelsea and beat Chelsea. So they are an organised side, and they do cause problems, as they caused us on a couple of occasions, where the one where Embueno was through 1-on-1, and there was another one with a long throw or a cross, and it bobbled around in the box. And so look, they're not an easy team. They're a good side, and if you look at it, every Premier League team has good players in it, and every Premier League team has 1 or 2 good players that will hurt you if you let them. But I think the difference for me today from the Luton game and the Toulouse game was the aggression that we played with today. It was back. It was back to how it's been the rest of this season, where we looked We looked like hungry for the ball. When we lost the ball, they went after it. There was an urgency, there was an energy, and that was missing the last couple of games, definitely for me. So it was really important. We go into the international break now nicely sets up the Man City game with them drawing as well, which it's good. I think it's good. We can relax now for the next couple of weeks, and let's see what happens. But I'm looking forward to the next game.
I think the way it's started to take shape now. Although this international break now, it's useless, really. I mean, what is the benefit? I mean, next Friday, England-Malta. I mean, England-Malta. Well, I mean, you've got a European qualifier, fine. It's
going to be a humdinger, that is, England-Malta.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pay-per-view.
No way.
I'm joking. So, just to regain a bit of momentum. I mean, what a great way. Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe not playing them next week would be a good idea because they dropped points this afternoon and they may have wanted to, make a point of it. But, we're in a good place. I think, I liked we're in a good place this week. I don't know. Football's just become this game at the moment where with all these international breaks, injuries, suspensions, there's just no regularity to none of it at the minute. I mean, today Diaz didn't play. I thought we looked good up front. Fluid up front.
Jota's goal was good.
Yeah, but for me, there's two players. Well, I mean, there's some obvious ones, very obvious ones, but there's about 4, maybe 5 positions where if you looked at the team sheet on a Saturday or whenever, you wouldn't be surprised if he was playing or if he was playing or if he was playing. In your eyes, it would still be a good side. Mm. For me, 2 players that have to start every game and the rest around them is Jota. That's one of them. And the other one, for me, is Gakpo. Now, Gravenberch's, McAllister's, Diaz's, Nunez's, any way you like, I don't mind. But for me, Jota, I've said it before, I think he's our most natural centre forward. And Gakpo is just, I mean, the bloke does not lose the ball. He's like glue between midfield and, the forward line. And, Nunes played it well today. We were watching it with Andrew. And, do I want him to play? Do I like watching him play? Yes, I do. I love watching him play because you just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get. But what I can't accept...
He's a handful.
But you know what? He's an honest player as well, though. Before he's a handful, he's an honest player. He works his socks off. He plays with his heart on his sleeve, and he's a very, very passionate player. You can see it. But I can't have someone missing from me 2 yards out. I mean, I can't remember what games it was now last season, but he did cost us points or cup qualifications or whatever last season. But I can take, being unlucky and your work rate is good. But when you're missing from, 2 yards out against Luton last week, that's a problem. I can't. That's unforgivable, and it's unforgivable for any player, really, any player.
But if you look at it, if he puts that ball in the net, we're top of the league.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, we're not in the middle of the table. There's 3. I split the league up into 3, if you like. You've got the top teams: Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and whoever else you want to include in maybe up there. But that's at the moment. I mean, Manchester City, Liverpool by default for the last how many seasons? Arsenal since last year. And then you've got the bottom teams, your Lutons, your Sheffield Uniteds, your those teams. And then you've got the no man's land in the middle. In the middle, if you're Crystal Palace or Wolves or one of those teams, if you don't, if you don't, does it matter? Is it going to achieve you? No. But when you get to where where relegations, finishing in the top four, or winning the leagues, or I mean, if he was our centre forward in the years of losing it by a point to City, and you lost it because of not because I'm just saying we probably did lose the game for a bad decision making in a game or not being clinical enough in a game, but that needs to change. Because I think he's a very likable player by his teammates, and if we look at players. And he's a likable character. He's a likable character. The manager loves him. The coaching staff love him. The fans love him. His teammates love him. So, and he's only young. So he played well today. Do I like watching him? Like I said, yes, I do.
I think he'll cause City problems next week.
He will, because he's that kind of a player. He don't care. He'll put his head where it hurts. That's what I mean. That's what he gives you. So, we go back to your mate, Diaz. Now,
my mate. I love the way you call him my mate.
Look, well, because you won't exactly. But I've just given you 2 minutes of why I can accept Núñez's miss just about from a couple of yards. What does Diaz give me? Does he give me the strength? Does he give me the tenacity of Núñez? Does he give you the strength of Núñez? Does he give you the aggro? Does he give you the heart? Okay, I think Diaz is passionate. I can see that, but he lacks the other side of things. I mean, for me, like I said, Jota has to start. He's the most natural goal scorer in that side,
apart from Salah.
Okay, Salah. I don't know. I mean, Salah's goals. John Barnes scored goals.
Come on, Salah's goals.
John Barnes scored goals for Liverpool. Ian Rush scored goals for Liverpool. Okay. Ian Rush was a natural goal scorer. Okay. John Barnes was just a magnificent footballer. Now, I'm not so sure that. I mean, Salah's numbers are ridiculous. We know that, but
Listen, I think Salah stands up to any generation.
No. There's no argument. But I think his knack in front of goal, Jota is a killer. I think he's that's a player who gets rotated. That's a player that gets moved from left to right, centrally to left. So,
listen, Núñez can learn from Jota how to be composed in front of goal. Then we've got a killer on our hands.
Yeah, I mean, we've got
a 40-goal a season man. The positions he gets into, the chances he has in a game. If he learns from Jota that composure, that ice, because he's a very different player to Salah, and I think right now in the team, like I said to you a few weeks ago, the dynamics are really different. Salah almost reminds me a bit about. Like, when Henry was at Arsenal, towards the end of his time at Arsenal, the first time, how all the players just looked to pass it to him.
Yeah, he's the man, the senior.
Yeah. He's the main man. He's the main man up front. He's the main player. So Salah's almost in that position now where they all look for him, all of them, in that front line midfield. They look for him first. And I think what will happen is, in time, look, Salah's not going to be there forever. In maybe the end of this season or the end of next season, and then I don't see him there beyond that. Now, at that point, you will see a different Núñez. If he's still at Liverpool, you will see a different Núñez. You will see a different Diaz. They will come into their own. They will, step up. I think they see a different player then.
I think before you move on, though, I think with Núñez, I think whether he's going to be a great player or a good player or a workman-like kind of player, I genuinely believe that we're stuck with him because we didn't buy him for 7 million like we bought Coutinho and sold him. We've paid 70-odd million quid for him. Now, he's had a little bit of a sketchy. Unless we get our money for him, we ain't going to cut our losses. So I don't see. You know what I mean? I can't see where he would go. I mean, no one's going to come and say to Liverpool, "I'm going to give you 100 million for Nunes."
Don't
Not
know.
at the moment. No, not at the moment. I said not at the moment. So, for what I'm saying is, there's no threat of him leaving Liverpool. I mean, because as I said, no one's going to come in for him. We've invested heavily in him, and we're going to have to either make it work, or take a hit. And we don't really take hits. But listen, that's by the by. At the end of the day, the bloke, what he may not have in natural ability, he has in passion, aggression.
I think he's got loads of ability. I mean, I was at Anfield for the Real Madrid game last year when we lost 5-2. And that first goal that he scored, that little nonchalant flick, and he meant it. He meant it because he did it in his first game against Fulham. When he came on to get us, we got a point in that game. That little back heel flick that he did. Listen, to me, that shows a player with real quality.
I saw it. I was at the game when he played for Benfica against Liverpool. And I'll remind you that it was a prime Trent, a prime Alisson, a prime Van Dijk, prime Matip, prime Robertson, prime Fabinho, prime Henderson that night.
He scored about 6 goals and half of them.
Yeah, that guy on that night, I was like, well, who is this guy, man? Every time he gets the ball, even today he had a shot. He had a rasping shot today in the first half. So, yeah, I mean, look, I want certain players to play. I want us to get a little bit of momentum in the team, going back to the game, having a bit of momentum. I think it's important for players to know that they're going to start not every week, but regularly. You know what I mean? Unless you're injured or unless you've been really crap. You know what I mean? I don't like to see super rotation in these games. Gravenberch has come in. You know what? Decent player. Is he up to speed, up to scratch just now? I don't know. I mean, Gravenberch, we've got a week, 10 days off now. Does Gravenberch, he probably will be fit. McAllister will be back. Who plays in midfield against
I think the midfield will be, if he's fit, Gravenberch, I think Szoboszlai and McAllister will be our midfield.
Yeah, so
I think he might be better off playing Endo in that midfield away from home at Man City, just to give us a bit more solidity in there. Or because he's talking about putting Trent in midfield, and he may put Trent in there with Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, or Szoboszlai and McAllister, and have Gomez.
Nah, come on, man.
No, look, I don't know what he's going to do.
We can all come up with formations and start bloody doing the permutations on the pools, for God's sake. Just pick your numbers and do what you want. 8 from 10, 8 from 14. It's ridiculous, though. That's never going to happen. Especially against Man City. So I don't know. He either trusts Endo to play there.
It will be a big indication of what he thinks of Endo if he picks him in that game.
Look, I just think it's massive that he starts to, Diaz probably will start against Man City. Yeah, I think look at Arsenal or look at this lot. It's the same players every week, really. You know what I mean? If everyone's fit, you can name the team. You can name most of our team if everyone's fit. I just want to, we haven't. It's a funny start.
You might play Gakpo in that midfield. You never know.
No, Gakpo in the midfield. I don't have a problem with that. I'm talking about who's going to hold the 6. Szoboszlai and one other. Gakpo's decent enough for me. Good enough. I love the player. I think it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. But who plays in that sitting role? But today, you can't argue with that. It was simple. It wasn't, there was a couple of scares, small scares. The players enjoyed themselves. Tsimikas, in the end, helped himself to a couple of assists. And
he needed that game after the last game anyway, that's for sure.
There's going to be no free, there's going to be no free lunches for anyone. I mean, Man City have got us next. They've got Villa away the game after that. I mean, Villa are proving a good side. Spurs have, fallen off at the moment. Injury suspensions. Newcastle, likewise, injury suspensions. So it's very important that
we take advantage of this time.
I'm not really comparing myself to Villa or Newcastle or Spurs or Newcastle. Though Arsenal and Man City is, we need to be at the forefront of that argument. You know what I mean? And start managing our games, managing our performances, managing the points. We go into the international break now. If they won today, they would have been 3 points ahead of us, and now it's a point. And
very important, very important.
It's massive. So we've just got to, and look. Naturally, we'll only get better. I mean, you said something a little bit back in this COP talk about all teams have got good players in there. Like Brentford, for example. That manager's been there a long time. A lot of his players have been there a long time. So his system is, it's stood the test of time.
Pochettino, he's well drilled as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Pochettino's got good players there. Hasn't been there a long time. He's slowly beginning to, stamp what he wants, moulding what he wants. Klopp, he's been there with a lot of those players a long time. Okay, there's 3 or 4 that have come in over the last season or two. And slowly, he's going to mould those players to get them to come into the rest of the programme. And, that can only mean that the longer this season goes on, the better we're going to get. So we've got to stay close to Man City. Look at them. You know what I mean? When there's pressure on the side, and we've done it before with them for like 2 or 3 seasons. Today they've conceded 4 goals against Chelsea. Now, Chelsea, on Monday night, whenever they played Spurs, they were struggling to score against 9 and 10 men. Let's not forget that. This is the same Chelsea that were struggling. We were listening to the game, and they're talking about heroes at Spurs because they nearly held on. In the end, convincingly, but Chelsea were struggling to break down 9 or 10 men. And today they've put 4 past Man City. So Man City, they're gettable. Don't listen to the idiots that commentate on the games that think the sun shines out of their arse and, blah, blah, blah. We've just got to do our thing.
I think Guardiola, he has a thing for Liverpool, and he knows if Liverpool are the ones chasing and close, that is going to add the pressure on him as well. And look, City are the best team at the moment, definitely. They're the top of the league. They are the best team, but I definitely think there's an opportunity this season. I mean, I don't know about winning the league, but we definitely can go close. And like you say, we just have to be there, ready, waiting in the wings. And if something does go wrong with City, we have to be the ones to take advantage of it. Or we have to push if we can beat them in a couple of weeks and we go top. And if we get our noses in front, and then it's about staying there and putting pressure on City, putting pressure week in, week out. Because Liverpool is the kind of team that can go on a run about 6, 7, 8, 9 wins in a row. We can do that. And if we can do that, then we'll find out about City. And then I definitely see Liverpool and City pulling away from the others. But look, Arsenal, they're still hanging in there. So yeah, they're still involved in this conversation. But
it's like, look, that's today was how you should be winning games at home. You know what I mean? Relatively stress-free. Listen, you're not going to have no stress-free moments in any game, home or away, against anyone. But we were relatively stress-free. We had a couple of goals disallowed for offside. I mean, one of Nunes' goals that offside. I mean, it was like a toe. It was. I said to Andrew, if we wore size 6 boots, it's a goal. But so we created chances. I thought we defended well. And Wemo and what's his name? Wissa. They caused teams a lot of problems. And Van Dijk, did a good job. And so, yeah, it was a convincing victory, and it was good to see that kind of performance. I've seen it this season before. It's not the first time. I thought, wow, we're back, and we've seen a little bit of, drop. I mean, not really. I mean, not big drops. I mean, last week against Luton was well off, and we followed it up with Toulouse, and that's what you kind of remember. I mean, we've won eight games. We've drawn 3, and we've suffered 1 defeat. It's hardly tragic. We're keeping our own with the other big teams up there, but I just a little bit of consistency. Like you said, let's go on a run. I mean, we've got Man City next. Don't lose that game. Very important, because if you can draw there and beat them at home and take 4 points off them, fantastic. You don't have to beat them there in November. It's not the law, but of course, if you do, it's a bonus. And then we've got Sheffield United away, I think, and we've got Fulham at home. We've got some favourable fixtures coming up. I don't think we've got much of a game.
We've got Man United in December.
Yeah, Man United at home is not much of a game, is it? Not at the minute.
It's always going to be a Man United Liverpool is always a game, but we should be too good for them.
And then I think the next big fixture is going to be Arsenal. Just in the run up to Christmas, we've got Crystal Palace away, and then we've got Man United at home, and then we've got Arsenal. So we've got some nice fixtures coming up, really. And let's do a game at a time, see how it goes. But after, it's a clean sheet today as well. We haven't had many of them of late. So what's there to not like about today? It's been a good day. They dropped points, Man City.
Yeah.
We won, and it just
all good.
Have a few rests now. A few of those players, a few of these injured players, get themselves back, and we'll go again.
Yes, my friend. Get your messages in and comments below. What did you think of the game? Did you enjoy it? Who was your man of the match? All of that stuff. Get your comments in. Who was your man of the match today?
Me?
Yeah.
Who was my man of the match today? I can't really give it to a defender because, it wasn't a defender. I mean, I would probably go for... It's a tough one, really. I don't think anyone really stood out. I mean, Salah got 2. Salah was good. I thought Nunes played well.
From what I saw, I would give it to Nunes.
Nunes played well.
For his chasing back, and all that, the hard work he did. Plus, he was still a threat.
I don't quite. I mean, you're on TV and someone says to you, "Who's your man of the match, Jason?" And you'd say, they're thinking about that game. I mean, I don't think anyone stood out magnificently. They all played well.
Salah could get it for 2 goals.
But I also think someone like Szoboszlai, that he plays just in that kind of role of not really being noticed, but he makes it all tick. Sprays the ball. Trent played well.
Van Dijk played well. Russ,
I wouldn't want to really give my goalkeeper a 3-0 win.
No,
the match.
I don't. But what I like,
it was that kind of a game. You could really say everyone played well. There wasn't. No one stuck out massively, and no one had a bad game. So it was just a good performance, man. A good end. I'm just a little bit disappointed now. As I said, this poxy international break, we're going to have players. I mean, don't forget Robertson got injured playing for Scotland, man.
Yeah.
And we've lost him now until the new year. So we've got players, I suppose, flying out all over the world again for the next 10 or 2 weeks.
Hope they come back healthy.
And that's what I mean, man, because it's just relentless. You know what I mean?
Every team got this problem.
So. Yeah, it's luck. It's like a roulette, isn't it? Really about whether your player comes back fit in time. All these South American ones. I mean, like Klopp says, we've got. I don't even know. I mean, I know Diaz is going to Colombia. I don't know if McAllister's Argentina. I don't know. But all these players are going to come and they're stuck. I mean, just touching on that a little bit. How the hell is probably the biggest game of the season on paper on 12:30 on a Saturday. It's shit show, and it's terrible. It really is bad. I mean, you watch this today. It's started to get dark now. In the winter. This Chelsea 4-4 just now. It should be a 4:30. It should be a classic game, not 12:30. Bloody the mist and the fog is barely lifting, and it's.
I think it was the Manchester police said they, because I think originally they wanted to have it at the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday, but the Manchester police said no, they wanted it early.
There's no reason for it. That game's. I don't remember the last time. When was the last time you remember we played Man City at 12:30? I can remember one game.
Yeah, when they won 5-0.
How long ago was
when
that?
Mane got sent off.
Yeah, when Mane got sent off for kung fu kicking apparently Edison.
Yeah,
I think that was the last time we played them at 12:30. So
I hope that's not an omen.
yeah. If we played them in a Champions League game or a Carabao Cup semi-final at either stadium, you would have to play at 7:30 at night. You can't turn around Manchester police and say, no, you're not playing. It's not about that, man. There's something, I don't know. I mean, I read something somewhere, and I don't remember where, that it's prime time football time in their Arab owners' land.
Yeah, Asia and all around that.
So I don't know. But if you're playing if we played them in the Champions League 4 seasons ago, we were at the game. Manchester police or Liverpool police can't turn around and say to UEFA, no, you're not playing at 7:45 or 8 o'clock because of it's stupid. So that argument don't stand. Carabao Cup semi-final, no, you can't play. You can play it at 12:30 midday. That's not the argument. It's just
that's what was written anyway.
Yeah, but I can't tell you the real reason. But BT are contracted to certain games, so they will get their certain games that they're going to show at a certain time, and maybe, like you said, the international audiences for the money they pay the Premier League. But don't sell me the one about the police, because that's not for me.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that either. But
it's a shame because you just won't have the same. I watched that game tonight. Floodlights. That was a proper game, and like I said, 12 o'clock and that foggy, misty, hazy, bloody. It's just not the same. But anyway, and in 3 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, we've got Crystal Palace at 12:30 again.
Unbelievable.
4 games this season at 12:30.
Yeah, that makes it 15, and the nearest one to us is 6.
Spurs. That'd be 4 games this season at 12:30. It's a joke.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But
anyway,
all right, mate.
Take care.
Have a good one. Take care. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Bye.